This is the Lenovo Legion 5i Pro, a device with a strong performance in a relatively slim design. Let's talk about specs real quick. This laptop comes with an Intel Core i7-12700H that truly has desktop-level performance. It's a 14-core CPU that has 6 performance cores and 8 efficiency cores. It also comes with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 that can reach up to 150 watts of raw power. It also comes with a 165Hz 1600p screen. And it comes with the standard 16GB of fast DDR5 memory and next-gen PCIe Gen 4 1TB SSD. The price I paid for it was $1,600 without taxes from Walmart. But more on prices later. The design of this laptop is really great, with thin bezels and a strong all-around build. The hinge is sturdy and you can lift the lid with one hand, which is great. All I would say to the build quality is that it's really solid and it will last you for many years. It weighs around 5.5 pounds or 2.5 kilos, which is on the heavy side. Not even to mention the gigantic power adapter that comes along with it. It's a 300-watt adapter that on its own weighs around 1.1 kilos. It's huge, but I think it's necessary for the amount of power that this laptop offers. The keyboard on this machine is really good with 1.5mm of key travel. You'll find no problems gaming or typing for hours. In my own opinion, I think it's better than the M1 MacBook Air's keyboard that I used to use and like. The keyboard has a 4-zone RGB system with 3 different profiles that you can customize in Lenovo's Vantage software. I found the touchpad to be smooth, accurate and clicky, and I enjoyed using it. Talking about ports, this device has plenty of them. 3 USB Type-A and 3 USB Type-C, and one of which supports Thunderbolt 4. It also comes with HDMI 2.1 which supports up to 8K 60Hz. There is no SD card reader, so bear that in mind. The screen, in my opinion, is the best selling point for this laptop. It has what I think is the best balance between a high refresh rate and a high resolution in modern laptop screens. It has a beautiful 16-inch 16x10 165Hz 1600p G-Sync enabled screen. It supports 98% sRGB color gamut and maxes out the brightness at over 500 nits. Let's talk about the software that lets us control the device and tune it as we wish. I'm talking about the Lenovo Vantage software. Here you will find all the options that are necessary for gaming, like changing thermal modes, GPU overclocking, enabling overdrive and much more. Talking about performance, this laptop flies through benchmarks. In Geekbench 5 CPU test, it got a score of 1733 in single core and 12,691 in multi-core. While in GPU test, it got over 134,000 in CUDA test, which is an excellent raw GPU performance. The GPU was running around 135 watts of power throughout the test, so gaming shouldn't be a concern. In Cinebench R23, the scores were so fast, with single-core score reaching 1779 points, and the multi-core score reaching above 18,000 points. The CPU was running at an average of 115 watts, and that exactly is the maximum wattage this CPU is allowed to run at. Using Blender was a great experience. In Monster Benchmark, the GPU got over 1600 samples per minute, and Junk Shop and Classroom were both above 900 and 800 respectively. Exporting a 1440p video in DaVinci Resolve 18 in HEVC codec was a pleasure, with export times half of the video's real-time durations. Before getting into gaming benchmarks, I just want to show you a real-world thermal test. Elden Ring was running for 7 hours without stopping using 1200p resolution using the maximum settings, and the thermals were surprisingly good. I think this device has one of the best cooling systems of any laptop on the market. Okay, let's get to FPS numbers now. In CSGO 1080p high, the average FPS was above 550 FPS, which is more than enough for competitive gaming. However, with low settings and 1024p 4x3 stretched, I was getting above 600 FPS, and that's an incredible performance. Stray is an amazing indie game that has great visuals and great performance as well. In 1080p high, I got an average of 158 FPS with 1% lows of 74 FPS. In 1440p high settings, the average FPS was down to 123 with 1% lows of actually higher than the 1080p result. I triple checked it and it was like this all the time. Forza Horizon 5 got a staggering average FPS of 176 in 1080p and 151 in 1440p, with 1% lows above 115 FPS in high settings. I chose high settings because it's the most common graphical settings to my knowledge. However, in extreme graphical settings it was getting around 70 FPS for both 1080p and 1440p. In GTA 5, the same scenario happens again. With everything maxed out, I was getting 183 FPS in 1080p and 161 FPS in 1440p. I was cruising around Midtown Los Santos with cops chasing and everything. Red Dead Redemption 2 is another visually stunning game, but it requires lots of power to play it in high FPS. And this laptop had no problems delivering that power while sustaining good thermals. It got an average FPS above 100 in high settings in 1080p and above 85 FPS in 1440p. Elden Ring is by default capped at 60 FPS, so in both resolutions it was a constant 60. However, the 1% lows are different between them, with 1440p being the more stuttery experience than 1080p. The last game we have here is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. With the highest graphical preset, it got around 132 FPS in 1080p and 93 FPS in 1440p, and it got 1% lows of 91 and 71 FPS respectively. Let's talk about prices for a moment. I bought this laptop from Walmart for $1,600 before taxes for the RTX 3070 model. You may sometimes find the RTX 3060 model for as little as $1,200. Honestly, I would advise you to buy that model instead. I don't think the performance differences between the 3070 and the 3060 are worth the extra money. The performance and the design of this laptop are the best value for the money, and the screen is quick and color accurate. Whether you want to game or work on it, it will easily handle everything you throw at it with great thermals and fan noise. This is without a doubt one of the best gaming laptops money can buy right now, and it will easily last you for more than 5 years in my opinion. So that's it for this review. Please drop a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Peace.